This is John Paul DeJoria, one of the founders of one of the largest cosmetics companies in the United States, and of John Paul Smith Systems and the billion-dollar tequila brand, the famous Patron. In today's video, John will tell us a little about his story of how he went from being homeless to selling his company, which started from scratch for about $5.1 billion. Let's find out what it takes to go from homeless to $1 billion. John Paul DeJoria has an inspiring story, and you can certainly learn a lot from this video. He will teach you how to go from homeless to billionaire. So stay tuned until the end of the video, because what he revealed was truly shocking. In the interview, John was asked how he became homeless. And he replied like this: "My partner and I had the idea of opening a hair care company, but we didn't have any money. So I decided to split the profits between myself, my partner, and a potential investor. We had someone interested. We were excited. It seemed like the money would come and we would fulfill our dreams. The downside to all of this is that it needed to happen quickly. We were broke, and that's terrible." Have you ever felt that way? I don't know about your life, but for me, things were very difficult. I had less than $100 in my pocket. I was in line at the gas station to fill up the car, and I had almost nothing in my pocket. I needed that investment to change everything. If the investor invested, everything would change for me and my partner. And it didn't take long before I got the news, perhaps one of the worst I could receive that day. The investor had changed his mind. He simply changed his mind and said he no longer wanted to invest. Our world collapsed. I had no money and was literally on the street. Yes, I was on the street, something I wouldn't wish on anyone. But you know what the advantage of hitting rock bottom is? It's that you can't go down any further because I had already hit the bottom. What I needed now was to lift my head and find a solution to get out of that situation. When you're in a situation like I was, the first thing to ask yourself is, how can I get out of this situation? Know how to ask questions, because a question opens doors. It's an affirmation that closes doors. When you say "I can't," you end the possibilities of problem solving. But when you say what to do to achieve it, at that moment, your mind opens up and countless possibilities begin to emerge. In my case, I remembered my mother. My mother lived in Los Angeles, but I was too proud to tell her that I was broke. I can have my bed back. My room is still available. I can have some food. I was too proud to say that to her. So I went to her house and said, "Mom, can I borrow about $300 from you?" And she said, "What do you need the money for?" And I told her that I was trying to start a business and would pay her back in about a month or so. And she lent me the $300 and I simply stayed in the car. I was too proud to tell my mother that everything had gone wrong. That's how we started. I learned to live with little. I learned to live on $2.50 0 day. I spent $0.99 9 breakfast at popular places and $0.99 9 lunch at popular restaurants. The people from these restaurants helped me, and after a few years I went back there and could offer them valuable advice and the best tips they had ever received in their lives. I never forgot what they did for me. I am very grateful. And that's the advice I give to today's youth. Be grateful and never forget who helped you, because gratitude opens doors and ingratitude closes them. And gratitude is the mother of all other virtues. Are you enjoying the video? Then comment like this: "No matter my situation, I will become a millionaire." Just comment that. No matter my situation, I will become a millionaire. When I see this comment, I will give a heart, because I know you will be the first millionaire in your family. Well, now that you've commented, let's continue. After John said these beautiful words, they asked him the following question: "And what about the mindset of someone living in a car? And how did you get out of this situation?" And he replied, "When you're really depressed, you have to wake up the next day and think as follows: it's not because I was depressed and things didn't go well for me yesterday that I should continue like this today. Because that's yesterday's newspaper and that's yesterday. Today I rise and write a new story. Today I have the opportunity to do everything differently. Don't dwell too much on what happened yesterday. If you do that, you'll be stuck in the past. You can't change yesterday." So what I just did was think ahead about what would be the next thing to do tomorrow. What would be the next thing after that? Who should I call next? How do I make another sale? And that's all I thought. And I would say the same thing to anyone who is depressed or homeless. You can't change the past, but you can change your future. You can change how your day will be tomorrow. And what holds most people back is that they are stuck in the past. Something happened to these people. They probably got fired, divorced. Someone said something to them that hurt them. And today people just want to harm them instead of exposing themselves on social media. Try telling someone who knows how to help you. Show your weaknesses only to those who have medicine for your wounds. As I was saying earlier, suddenly you are stuck in the past and it's on your mind before bed. It's on your mind all the time. But now you're thinking that the power is in the past. You can't change that. You have to think about the future and forgive everyone who has wronged you. Forget all the jealousy that has ever crossed your mind. Forget the regrets, the things you might have thought you could have done differently. You can't change all that. Forget everything. When this comes to your mind, just forgive. Forgive everyone in your mind. If someone has wronged you, forgive. It's all in the past. If it comes to your mind again, just say, no, this is my past life. You can't become successful if you carry the burden and weight of the past with you. So free yourself from it. After this beautiful response, they asked another question to John. They asked, how did you go from zero to billionaire? And he replied, we made it. After much struggle, we opened the small company. We had a secretary who was there earning very little. We were building a business and needed to reinvest everything into it. Everything we had, we invested. I never changed my lifestyle. After a while, I managed to buy an apartment, but still kept my lifestyle within my standards. I only bought a car a year and a half later. It's important when you're going through a tough phase starting a business that you have emotional and financial intelligence to get through it all. Avoid having an expensive lifestyle, buying things just for the sake of it, getting into debt. Keep calm, keep your lifestyle below your means, and you'll soon find yourself with the energy to overcome it all. The next question was, how was it going door to door? And he replied, going door to door wasn't an easy journey. It was exhausting, painful. But I was a good salesman, and people welcomed me well. People in the beauty industry are nice people. Many of my clients became great friends. You just have to do what needs to be done. You need to hold your head up high and have in your mind that you need to change your tomorrow. The past can't be changed, but tomorrow you can change. What advice would you give someone starting a business now? They asked John, and he replied, I think if I were to say something to someone starting a business, I would start with a few important points. Develop a good product, offer the best. Understand that we made a good product, we made the best possible product. So your product or service has to be the best. The product has to be very good, and whoever is using it has to really know that this product works. And throughout our journey, we knew we had a good product, and that's what I would tell all entrepreneurs. And the two most important things you need are a quality service and a quality product so good that they'll want to reorder. They'll want to buy again. The second thing is to be prepared for a lot of rejection. If you're prepared for that, and it won't affect you. When talking about rejection, I can remember back when I sold encyclopedias. It's tough, and a lot of rejection is something that can sometimes discourage you. During sales training, they told me something that made me successful. They said, many of you won't make it, but those who will succeed are those who will overcome rejection. Many doors will be closed in your face, but at door number 50, you need to be as motivated and enthusiastic as you were at door number 1 to have the same drive. And I did that, and I kept the same enthusiasm. By doing this, you learn more how to do things better, how to say things differently, and you get better and better. And the enthusiasm never fades away. And I went from door to door and kept the motivation to chase after my dream, and one person of those I visited. No rejection could take away the desire to achieve what I wanted. That's the mindset of a winner. Nothing and no one can stop you. Nothing that happens to you can stop you if you're driven by a dream, whatever it may be, a better life, an education, helping your parents, impacting people, overcome rejection, and your success will be at the next door. Understand that when you start a business, you'll face many difficulties, and one of them is getting people to believe in your business. But I'll tell you something that may seem contradictory. They don't need to believe in your business, you just need to believe. When we started the beverage company, we had a huge challenge to make people believe it was worth buying that product. People thought the product was wonderful, but when we mentioned the price, they laughed. They said no one would pay that price. but we believed we had a great product and that we could charge what it was worth. We believed in the company and made it work. Do you not believe what people tell you? Do you believe in yourself? Most of the time, people say negative things. Question all of that. What do you feel in your own heart? What do you think can be done? And go for it. Look at how many times Sylvester Stallone pitched Rocky and no one wanted it. He didn't give up. He kept trying and trying. And the big companies, like Google, Amazon, and Facebook, they were built from someone's vision who didn't give up, see? They just kept going. No matter what the rejection, keep your eye on the target. Ignore the distractions. Feel the sensation of moving towards your dreams and let go of all the baggage from the past. Stay light. Now is the pivotal moment of the video. Pay attention. They asked John what it felt like to sell a company that started from scratch for $5 billion. And he replied like this, well, it was all wonderful. For me, it was one of the most important moments of my life. You feel happy because you know you did a good job, that despite all the battles, we persisted and made the best decisions. Well, the first thing I did was to sign a check for $50 million that went directly to start the Peace, Love, and Happiness Foundation. Donate first, because you need to overflow into people's lives. And I participate not only financially, but to change things for people, to make them better. And I believe that the good Lord created everything we have here. It was He who gave me this opportunity, and I think part of it was that my destiny was to give back along the way and find new experiences and help others along the way. Things were so good for me. Why not help others then? I'm very generous in this area, and that's amazing to me. Pay attention to this response. The next question they asked John was, what advice would you give to someone who aspires to be rich? And he replied, what does it mean to be rich? One day my son came home from school and he asked me, Dad, are we rich? What does it mean to be rich, Dad? And he was in kindergarten. I explained to him, son, some people think that being rich means having a lot of money, but you can have a lot of money but have poor health and not be happy. That's not being rich. We are happy as a family. And he replied to me, yes, we are healthy. And he also replied, yes. Well, then we are rich. And so I told my son how rich we are. But truly rich is if you are happy and healthy, and if you and your family are happy and healthy. If you're in that situation, you're as rich as I am. And people need to understand that being rich, successful isn't whether you become a millionaire or billionaire. Success means how far you've come in everything you're doing. When I was in school, I also had my job as a janitor at school. I cleaned the school and earned $1 per hour and was promoted to earning $1.50 0 hour. For me, it was already a great success, and I was promoted for doing more and better when no one is looking. So, success is how well you do what you do, especially when no one is watching. And when we talk about success, about being successful, you need to ask yourself some questions. Do you wake up half an hour earlier to chase your dreams? Do you go to bed watching TV in the last 2 hours of the day? Clear your mind. Get rid of distractions before sleeping. Free your mind for rest. Prepare for rest. The TV doesn't have to be on 1 hour before you sleep. How about reading a book about success just before sleeping? How about reading a book about the area you want to develop? People want better results, better days, want a better family, a better wife or husband, want a better bank account, but don't want a process. Successful people do all the things that unsuccessful people don't want to do to succeed. Just do what most people don't want to. And it's not something so complicated. For example, to stand out, just do the simple. Because people don't want to do the obvious, they don't do the minimum. If you start doing at least the minimum, you'll already be better than 99% of the people. Because people don't want to commit. Good service, a good product, they don't want to knock on a few more doors, and they don't want to take no for an answer. The next question they asked John was this: do you regret anything you've done in life? And he replied, I have 0 regrets. There are many things in life that I would have done differently. We would all have done things differently in life in different ways. But you can't change yesterday, and that's something you need to take off your shoulders. You can't change the past, and that's why you need to get up and live a new day. And I didn't know that when I started the business, because I was very focused on how I was going to eat, how much money I was going to get to pay this bill. I was very focused. Later, I learned that you need to take all these things off your shoulders. So you move forward without any thought of the past. We wouldn't be who we are today if it weren't for the past. Do you want to be someone different? You can't change the past, but you can change your future. We had a saying in the 60s, and it was this: today is the first day of the rest of your life. What changes would you make? What would you change? When you're starting out, or even today, what books, resources, or people did you turn to? I would like to have a mentor and achieve. I would like to have ventures. And I did it. My mother was the closest thing to a mentor I had at the time. She was always encouraging us, but when I sold encyclopedias door to door, it was the best training I ever had in my life. There was a book there that I think is one of the best of all time. And that book is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Read it, I'm sure you'll like it. Over time, I also learned how wonderful kindness is. I have always been kind throughout my life, but I became even kinder. Kindness is wonderful. Do you feel good? Do the people around you feel good when you talk to someone? Do you speak kindly? When you want to help someone, do you do it kindly? That's the message I would like to leave to all of you who aspire to a different life. Keep your dreams alive, give your best, never give up, be kind and help people, and be happy. This interview has come to an end. If you stayed until the end, leave a comment saying, "The past doesn't matter. I write a new story today." Just comment that. The past doesn't matter. Write a new story today. When I see this comment, I'll know you were a resilient person and stayed until the end. Now, 2 videos are appearing on your screen where I talk about building wealth from scratch. Click on one of them and go watch it now.